So I had a bit of a nostalgia trip recently. There was this show that came out right around when I was born. A show that would live forever in obscurity, but which planted a seed of action-adventure love in me since the first time I saw it. A show with tremendous PR and a great musical score. Zorro Generation Z is probably the most underrated Zorro property to ever come out, and chances are, most of you haven't even heard about it. If you have, this is probably the first time you've heard about it in years. Today, let's dive deep into the world of Zorro Gen Z to see how this obscure show holds up in retrospect. And even if you've never seen the show, I encourage you to sit with me till the end, because I guarantee you'll be wanting to binge it all immediately after you're done. Let's go. The Zorro franchise is definitely a weird one. El Zorro began as a folk story depicting a fox-like masked vigilante with a sombrero, saving the common folk of Pueblo, Los Angeles from evildoers. In its over 100-year history, the character has appeared and evolved in various comics, movies, TV shows, books, plays, video games, and cartoons. None were as relevant to my upbringing as the 2006 version of this show that doesn't even appear on Google when you search Zorro TV shows. A lot more people are probably familiar with the Japanese anime version of the show, which came out a decade prior, but Generation Z aired primarily thanks to a company by the name of BKN International. The company was eventually abandoned in the late 2000s and has kept a legacy of obscurity. They were mostly famous for a bunch of knockoff CGI animated films that you may have seen on The Search for the Worst or something. God, I miss watching IHG now that I think about it. The only notable thing this company did was make some decent animated programs like this one. They include Kong the Animated Series, Ultimate Book of Spells, Legend of the Dragon, and Dork Hunters from Outer Space. Most of these were developed by Rick Ungar, a former Marvel development executive who made a name for himself with shows like these. But frankly, none were as good as Zorro ended up becoming, at least in retrospect. I should note, Ultimate Book of Spells was directed by a good friend of the channel, Chuck Patton, so kudos there. Sean, Catherine Derrick also worked on the show, who you may recognize from Batman the Animated Series, and the greatest animated film in history, Food Fight. With all that aside, let's talk about the show. The first thing that immediately stands out is the animation. Yeah, I won't lie, it's pretty crunchy. Crunchy is the right word. It's just not super fluid and appears super cheap and rushed. Of course, they probably had a budget the size of Garcia's mustache, but it just looks really bland in some shots. On the bright side, the character designs are really nice. I also love the color in this show. Super moody shots really bring out the atmosphere. And Zorro's suit looks absolutely badass. Something about the suit just makes you want to watch the show. It's kind of like the Alien Force Omnitrix. There's just something intriguing about it. The character of Zorro here is Diego de la Vega, the 5 times great-grandson of the original Zorro. In the first episode, which takes place in 2015 by the way, super futuristic, Diego and his mute brother Bernardo discover the old cave of Zorro full of suits and cool gadgets. Diego, being a motorcycle racer, immediately assumes the position and fights various bad guys in the ultimate quest to defeat the corrupt Mayor Martinez. Oh, while teaming up with the mayor's daughter, by the way, Scarlet Whip. Lovely villains in this show as well, including the Fearsome Four, which always freaked me out as a kid. Seriously creepy. The voice acting here is nicely done, starring Ben Small as Zorro. You may know him as Thomas from Thomas and Friends. Jules the Jong also does great as Scarlet Whip. Wait, why does the mute character have a voice actor? While on the topic of characters, I find it hilarious how there's one character who inexplicably has a Mexican accent, and that's Garcia. You gotta love the trope of him spilling food on his clothes every time we see him on screen. Not the only weird voice though.
Oh, don't worry, Diego dear. There are lots of things you can do.
Oh, the music. The main Zorro theme here is to die for. I totally recommend watching the show for the theme song alone. I'm glad that just like in Batman the Animated Series, we hear that main theme about 50 times an episode. Every time Zorro blinks, we get a nice da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Other running tropes here, like the Z-slice in between scenes, also gives the show a unique vibe. Haha, get it? Generation Z! Because this show is for Zoomers! See, the joke is funny because Z is like the show's whole thing. Maybe if the show was dubbed in German, there would be even more Z's. The Adventures of Zorro! Man, this show is a nostalgia trip to look back at, and I'm glad you could join me today. If you haven't seen the show yet, I recommend it. It's available free on YouTube at the time of recording this, so you can literally start watching right now. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave all your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you remember this show at all? Will you be checking it out? I'll pin any good comments I see, so be sure to tell me. Follow all my socials with the comments down below, and with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you beautiful ladies and jellyfish in the next one.